once again. Good day, good evening, good afternoon. Another edition of What's Involved. Just an update, really. The last time we chatted, I told you in hospital, just got the polygam, looking forward to everything being hunky-dory and all of those good things. And I was trying to figure out, as I said in one of the previous episodes, this whole thing about being the human guinea pig. And yesterday, sort of later afternoonish, suddenly the feeling, and it's been described as looking at like worms under your skin, but of, I don't know, muscles twitching in places on my calves and you can, like when you get a twitch in your arm muscle or whatever muscle, just for no reason, or your eye just jumps, that kind of thing. Yeah, like that. That came back sort of yesterday afternoonish, and by last night, the sort of pain and the cramps and all of that were back with a vengeance, which in an ideal world shouldn't happen, because polygam should, sort that stuff out and should feel good for a bit. But I'm not. So what are we going to do about this? And this has got me to thinking. I had a lot of time to think last night. How am I going to manage this going forward? Because I'm not just going to put my hands up in the air, roll over and play dead. That's the one thing I know I'm not going to do. But what can I do? Because when I'm feeling like that, when I'm in that kind of space and sort of the pain is consuming me and shouting for attention at all times, just the concept of some of the things I talk about, like, healing. How am I going to heal? What am I going to do? Trying all of these things and coming up with fancy sayings and stuff. That all goes right out the window, because the only thing that consumes me and that I'm like totally focused on is how bad I feel. Now I know there are those of you who are going to say, well, ignore the pain, work with the pain, let the pain work through you, etc., etc., etc. And I think if this was something that sort of, wasn't continuous and 24 hours a day almost, maybe I would get that right. Maybe I just am a big baby. And, but let's be honest, I don't fancy the idea of pain or doing anything when I am in pain. So while I was lying awake, I was thinking, what can I do? I mean, how do I make a plan to spend the times of day that I am most I have the least pain? What can I do there, and how can I do those things that will then contribute to my overall weight? Oh, talking about that, also stood on the scale again, and nothing different. I stood on the scale last night, I picked up 1 kilogram. So, down to 115 and 115.7. I don't know. Let's call it 115, back up to 116, just rounding it off. So that's not brilliant. Nothing's changed art-wise, still doing the same thing there, trying to do the very low carb kind of thing. So that's not good. But what can I do in terms of, I need some kind of structure, and yet inherently I rebel against any kind of structure. Tell me to do something and I'll tell you that I won't. That's simple. If I know that I've got to do something, don't do it. Okay? So this is what I've been wrestling with. And as I said, last night I had a lot of time to think about all of these kind of things. And maybe that's it. Maybe it's the thinking. Maybe I think too much. I often call people out for that, and the yes buts and everything. And I'm guilty as well. So, yeah, am I not at the place where I've come to accept these autoimmune diseases and go, okay, that's the whole acceptance, and maybe I'm not there. Maybe I just haven't accepted it in my life. I don't know. I don't have answers at the moment. And that bugs me as well, because I need to know something has a beginning, a middle, and an end. And yeah, I don't think I slowed down. I think I need to try and speed up. I think I'd need to get this plan in action, and try and get my body fitter and look at the vitamin side of it. Been doing a lot of sort of reading about the mental aspect of it. I don't know if I've mentioned that Bruce Lipton, The Biology of Belief, which got me to thinking, like, what are my beliefs around this? What are my beliefs in general? What do I stand for? I know I often say being in integrity with yourself and the world outside, think should equal say, should equal do. I'm very good at the thinking part. Saying part, fairly good too. The doing part is where I get tripped up sometimes. So, yeah, not all sort of sunshine and roses on this side at the moment. Again, it feels ironic for me to remind you to please like or subscribe if you're listening to the podcast, the audio version, because you would want to listen to me ranting and raving. Well, hopefully hopefully I can touch a nerve and you kind of go, okay, yeah, and you can use what I'm talking about and at least have the freedom to acknowledge that, yay, you're grateful. You don't have any of my, I nearly said words I don't know I'm allowed to say, don't have any of my issues. Or you can say, yeah, I'm in a similar position and life just seems sucky and I also don't know what to do. And then, as I said, like, subscribe to the YouTube channel. There's many ways of getting hold of me. Let's have a chat. Maybe you've got solutions. Maybe together we can find solutions. When I came down, as I said, I literally haven't had a whole lot of sleep. Can probably tell it in the eyes this morning. But when I came down to the office this morning, I might still do it. I was in the process of writing a strongly worded email to my neurologist and saying, you said this would be better and different, and now that it's every 4 weeks and I still feel like crap. How much of it is sort of the medical field's responsibility? How much is my responsibility? Yes, I know. Many of my friends have said, oh, don't do that. Rather do this. There's this auntie down the road and she can inject this wonderful cocktail into you, which includes, what is it? Hydrogen peroxide. Yeah, it's like, no, O3, ozone. Okay, yeah, hydrogen peroxide, probably not a good idea, but ozone. So, they inject you with ozone and can do this or this, or have you tried of this, or have you tried of that? The other drawback to this is, of course, the brain goes, brain farts. But anyway, so I was talking about coming down here early for some reason or other and writing a strongly worded, oh, yes, what difference will that make? How much of it is her responsibility? How much is mine? And I believe I have more responsibility because I'm kind of resident in this body. And as to how I fix it, I don't know yet. But listen, I'll share the good days, but I'll also share days like this. So thank you for listening. Wherever you are, look after yourselves, take care, be kind to one another. That's one thing I'll never stop believing. This world needs more love and more kindness and more empathy. So, I'm not asking for you to feel sorry for me, but let's get to understand each other. Anyway, enough waffle from me. Until next time, we'll chat again soon. I'll give you another update.